Hi. So welcome back. Happy holidays. Welcome back to our series on seminar marketing. And today I'm going to talk to you about probably the topic a lot of you have been waiting for. How do you fill these seminars? I get it. Everybody be doing 5 a week if you could fill them every day. It's harder than it used to be. Like I've said before, the days of spending a few $100s to fill 4 seminars on a mailer, those are over. The days of spending 3 or 4 hours on the phone just to fill a show, doesn't work like that anymore. But it doesn't mean seminar marketing is dead. It's still very much a real viable option for you from a marketing standpoint. You just have to become a master marketer. If you're going to be a seminar marketing agent, then you got to be great at marketing. And so you got to be willing to roll up your sleeves and do some of what we used to call the dirty work. If you're willing to do that, then I still believe this is the most profitable marketing system you can use as a life and health insurance agent. So what I want to talk to you about today is I want to talk to you about the levers. That's what we'll call them, if you will, the levers that you can pull to fill seats at your seminar. Okay, so let's start going through these. So the first one, it's mailer. If you can afford it, a mailer is still, a really good viable option. A mailer, you can't expect 1.5%, 2.5%, 3% returns, but I do believe that with a good mailer, you can still expect to get a half to maybe 1% return, depending on where you live. It's a great way to build a base for your seminar. May not fill your whole show or all of your shows, but it'll give you a good base so that the rest of the levers that we're about to talk about takes a lot of the pressure off of those. Number 2 lever, bring another couple. You find somebody through a mailer, through the phone, however, we're going to talk about all these different levers, but you find Mary and Bob that are going to come to the show, get them to bring one of their couples with them. You do this and master just this step and you'll cut your prospecting efforts in half. It's really that simple. We probably filled, when we were doing seminars, my agents probably filled at least 1/3 of all their shows by having their people bring somebody with them. Now, I do want to say this. You don't want to just say you can bring as many people as you want. The last thing you want is 6 or 7 red hat ladies sitting in a corner. You won't set any of them. They'll be the ones that are talking between themselves while you're trying to keep the attention of the entire room. You don't want that. But offer up, I got 2 extra seats. If a lot of people like to bring, another friend with them because it is a fun night out. If you'd like to bring another couple, I'll check back with you here in a couple days and see if you found somebody. Employ them. That's a great way to get seats and butts. Butts and seats, sorry. Those people that are coming, you got to confirm them yourself. Don't just rely on your original couple to tell them about it, when to be there, and make sure they're coming. You need to get their information so you can confirm them yourself. Lever number 3, we always call it paint the town red. And what I'm talking about here is I want you to make flyers on a bright construction paper, and we're going to post these babies all over town. We're going to put them everywhere you can think of. No place is the wrong place. Grocery stores, gas stations, barbershops, beauty salons, the drugstores are really good places. Go to the senior living facilities. All of the places you can think of that your target market is going to be in front of. You will get attendees from this, and it'll also give you a lot of credibility from your other levers that you're going to pull if they've seen you in the circus that's coming to town, if they've seen that in other places. As you are going into these places and getting permission to put flyers up through the pharmacist or the managers, employees that you're talking to, make sure you got your sales hat on. Sell the event to them. You never know when they might be a potential prospect or attendee, or they might have family members or friends that might be interested. So make sure you got your sales hat on. This is one a lot of my agents did. It's cheap, spend $100, $150, put an ad in the paper or the local shopper. It'll give you some credibility for your other levers, and you never know, you might get a couple seats filled from it. Face-to-face marketing. This is where you really have to put your sales hat on. And again, let them know the circus is coming. Get out in the streets and just start talking to people. As you're posting these flyers, walking by people in the streets, tell them about your show. If you do this, it's a lot less money you'll have to spend on mailers, or a lot less time you'll have to spend on the phone making cold calls. I've had agents that have completely filled seminars all year long just because they mastered this art. Just getting out in the community and just talking to people, getting to know people, spreading the word about your seminars. And by the way, I didn't write this down in my bullet points, but I do hope that you've got multiple show dates. I talked about that in my last seminar. It'll make your prospecting a lot easier. And here's a big one. I've had people do this solely too. There's a local breakfast spot that the guys go to, the retirees go to in the morning. And there's another one that the girls go to. Might be the same one. Figure out where that's at in the mornings. You got to kind of live in the zone a little bit. Start going to those places in the mornings leading up to your show. Get to smiling, get to talking, getting to knowing these people. You might even get invited to the big table where you can really start promoting and inviting people to your seminars. That's a great way to fill seminar seats. Here's another one. Now, you can't do it all the time, but table flyers. Got to get permission from the restaurant that you're doing the seminar at, but if they'll allow you to make a trifold marketing piece to put on all the tables and booths leading up to the seminar, that's a huge attendee puller all on its own. And it kind of goes hand in hand with this one too. Get permission, talk to management, but employ the waitresses at this restaurant. You find the right waitress and offer them, a few bucks to find attendees for your next event. You find the right waitress, they might fill the show by themselves. They're sitting filling coffee for seniors all day, every day. Let them go to work for you. And the next one and the last one is a telephone. I get it, it's a love-hate relationship, but to me, this is the one lever that you always can pull. You can spend $100, get some data, some call data for target market people in your area, and you can always hit the phones. Look at how your marketing is coming from all these other levers. Use this to fill in the gaps, okay? Might even, so you don't have to go spend 2 days crunch time and pound the phones. Spend just an hour a day making some phone calls and add a little bit to this category. Get a little bit from all these categories and you got a full show. I'll say one last thing here on the phone call stuff. Make sure that you're selling the event. It's a fun night out, lots of laughs, great dinner. You're not selling the content. They got to come to the show to get the content. You give them the content, they'll start thinking of reasons why they don't need to come to the show. And just keep this in mind when you're making these phone calls. Every person you get to the show, if you're doing it right, it's worth $300 to $500 in your pocket commissions. Keep that in mind. Might even put a sticky note on your, on your computer as you're making phone calls. That'll give you a little inspiration to make that next dial. Golden rule though, you got to have a full show. The energy and the experience of a show that's only half full is totally different than one that's a full show. And to me, a full show is a minimum of 20, 25 people. You got to have a full show in order to really pull this off, have the conversion rates and the close rates that you're hoping to do. And finally, you got to know your conversions too. Just because you got 25 people come to the seminar doesn't mean 25 people are going to show up. You got to know your conversions. And these are going to vary a little bit based on your skill sets. But on average, an RSVP off a mailer, about 80% of them are going to show up. 70% of people telemarket are going to show up. 50% of the people that told you they were going to come 2 weeks ago on the street are going to come. So you have to know these conversions so you know that you might need to have 34 people coming in order to land 25. Mind you, all of these things, these percentages I just gave you, they're only that high if you do the proper touch process. And by touch process, I mean, how do you really go from what they say they'll come to the point where you get them there? There's a whole process to that. And that I'm going to make that, we're getting 9 minutes now. We're going to make that our next video. I'll try and get one out next week. It's Christmas, but sometime here in the next 10 days or so, I'll get out the next video where we'll talk about our touch process and how to really get the highest conversions on all these levers. Hope this helps. Look forward to seeing your next video. Hope you have a great Christmas. Talk to you soon.